Hey, what's up guys, MGH here and welcome to my Team of the Season video. Premier League, at least. I'm going to do a few of these videos. I'm thinking I might do a bad Team of the Season, you know, the worst Team of the Season. What else could I do? Flops of the season, worst signings of the season. But today, my main focus is, it's completely in my opinion, so everyone's going to have their own, but this is my opinion. It's the best players from this season in the Premier League. You could argue that, you know, there's still a few weeks left. There could be a chance that someone could just score 5 hat-tricks in a row and make it in, but it's unlikely. I think by now we know who is going to be roughly Team of the Season, in Team of the Season, I should say. So I'm just going to go ahead and just ramble on about it. You know, I've mentioned how I want to do more videos like this. I've got my my whiteboard out, which I'm going to be going ahead and writing the players as I go. And let me know your thoughts. So we're going to start off in goal, and I'm going to go with a 4-4-2 formation. So we're going to get goalkeeper, 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 strikers. So there will be a couple of players at the end of this video that didn't quite make it, but probably could have made it, having, you know, put it in a different formation, if that makes sense. But as a 4-4-2, we'll start off with the goalkeeper. There's only one choice, if you ask me. I'm going to make sure my handwriting is somewhat easy to read, which is probably not very easy, but as you can see there, I have gone with De Gea. There is no other choice. Maybe Edison comes close. Maybe in terms of stats, you're looking at Butland, because he's made the most saves, I believe. But if you think about throughout the whole season, which goalkeeper has made the biggest, I don't know what the word is, contribution? I guess it is De Gea. On multiple occasions, he has saved Manchester United from conceding, which is what goalkeepers do, but he seems to do it way more regularly than anyone else. So I'm going to go with De Gea in goal. Now I've got a list of all the players that I want to talk about here, so I might have to keep checking it. But at right back, oh god, it's not going to fit. I'm not going to be able to get all these players on, but at right back, I'm going with Kyle Walker, new signing for Man City. I mean, he's been incredible. We knew that he would do well at Man City. Pep really likes the fact that he's a very attacking player. He plays like Dani Alves did at Barcelona under Pep, right? And he's also very good defensively. He's an absolutely solid choice in any team. And I feel like this season he's been able to go that one step further than he ever has done with Tottenham, because he's playing more consistently at the top level with other players also at the top level. Champions League, you know. I know Tottenham were in the Champions League, but you get where I'm going with that. Walker is in a better squad now, and it shows. He is surrounded with better players, and he himself has become an even better player. And recently for England, played at centre-back, which was interesting, and got an inform, which was, I thought, pretty incredible, getting an inform at centre-back. So, yeah, interesting. I think Walker definitely has been arguably the best right-back. There is another one that I will talk about later on in this video that hasn't quite made it. So my first centre-back is going to be, again, I'm sorry for my handwriting, but I'm going to go with Azpilicueta there. I know I've had to do it upwards a bit, otherwise it might not fit. Azpilicueta is another solid choice. Not his best season in the Chelsea shirt, but still has, for me, stood out as one of their better players and one of the better defenders this season. I don't really need to say much else other than it's been a bit of a stroke of genius putting him in a 5 at the back formation, 3 centre-backs, and on the right side as well. Even though he used to play left-back quite a lot, he has played right-back. But at centre-back, he's really done well, so he goes in my team. I'm also going to put in this guy. Oh god, it's really not going to fit. Hopefully you can read that. I'm going with Otamendi. Now Otamendi is a bit of a weird one, this, because if you think of all the defenders in the Premier League, he's up there, but you wouldn't have thought he would have been one of the best. Let's be honest. Since he's joined Man City, he's been a little bit like Mustafi, if you ask me. A little bit inconsistent. A little bit mistake-prone. But he has been, for me, one of the most consistent this season and probably the best defender in the Premier League. That's just my opinion. I think he's been absolutely incredible. And it's been a stroke of luck for Man City because, of course, they have brought in Laporte now. But previous seasons, when Kompany's injured, they've had to use Mangala maybe. John Stones hasn't been the best signing in the world. he could be better, and he will get better. He's still young. So it's quite lucky that Otamendi has stepped up and done so well. So definitely deserves to go in the team of the season for me. Now, at left-back, this is probably going to get quite a little bit of... there's going to be quite a few questions about this because he doesn't really, or hasn't really played there for his career, the entire career. And that is, of course, Young. Ashley Young at Manchester United. He's a left winger, a right winger. He has been all his career, but with the changes at Manchester United, with Mourinho coming in, I think he played there a couple of times with Van Gaal as a left wing back. He's just done so well. I think what it is, it's his work ethic, his work rates, his experience. He's obviously very quick, and he's just done so well. He has slotted into that position like he's always been there. But I think also it's because there isn't many other left-backs that have done so well this season. You think Man City have used mainly Delph, but now they've gone with Zinchenko. Who else have they been playing at left-back? They had Danilo there play a couple of times. So I think, had Mendy been fit, maybe he would have been in there. Because there's no doubt in my mind that Mendy would have done really well. He looked good at the start. Monreal is a close left-back. Maybe Kolasinac, but... there just hasn't been many good left-back performers this season. Maybe Alonso, but for me, it has to be Ashley Young. He had to go in there. Now, moving on to... should we go centre mids? Let's do that. So my first one, I think he's the one that has to be in every single team that, people come up with. I've just spelt his name wrong, but whatever. I've missed out the U, but it's De Bruyne. De Bruyne, there isn't many words to describe how good he is. And he's still young. He's still got many years ahead of him. I know that someone asked, I think it was Eden Hazard. They asked him in an interview if you could have any fellow Belgian teammate, who would it be? And instantly, straight away, Kevin. And then the interviewer was like, you had him. Chelsea got rid of him. And you can see in Hazard's face, it's like, yeah, that was pretty stupid, wasn't it? But De Bruyne, for me, close with another player that I'll mention soon, has been what am I saying? He's been the best player of the season. He's been, for me, the best performer. He has really just taken their team to another level, and that is De Bruyne at Man City. He's just taken them to a new level. He's so creative, and along with the next player I'm going to talk about, which I'm going to write into now, into the team, along with this guy, I think it's made Man City unstoppable in midfield, and that is David Silva. Him and De Bruyne would not work well in a 4-4-2 if they were both centre mids. Of course, that wouldn't work. But we're talking team of the season. You put players in because they've been the best. De Bruyne, for me, is the best player in the Premier League at the moment and has been this season. Silva, I would put in third because there's another player that I've yet to put into the team, which you will see. David Silva, kind of reborn in this Man City lineup with Pep because he's not playing out on the left like he used to. He's not necessarily sitting behind the strikers like he used to. He's sitting a bit deeper and playing that kind of Santi Cazorla role for Arsenal. A deep line playmaker that doesn't make tackles or anything, doesn't need to get too far back defensively, but will stay on the fringes of the play all the time, picking out passes. And that is just perfect for Silva. Almost a slightly attacking midfielder. Not an attacking midfielder, but he does sit back a bit more. And that way he can just see the entire pitch. He can see all the passes opening up ahead of him. And that, for me, has really changed the way he plays. And without him and De Bruyne, I don't think Man City would be winning the league as comfortably as they are. Now, on the left side, this is really difficult. I'm torn between two players here, but just purely because there's already a chance for other of these players from the same team coming into the squad. I'm going to give this other team a chance. And I know I'm an Arsenal fan, and lots of Arsenal fans will be upset with me, but I'm going to go with Heung-min Son on the left side. I was toying with the thought of putting in Hazard, but there's already a Chelsea player in the team, so sorry, mate. Heung-min Son, there was moments this season where he wasn't playing very well, but I think over the last few months, he's really proving to live up to that potential that we saw when he was at Bayer Leverkusen. Tottenham bought him. I was so jealous. I thought he was primed for an Arsenal move. We've needed, a South Korean player for a long time. It's a great way to expand the club in Asia. Heung-min Son is going to bring so many fans along with him to any club he goes to because they love him out there. He's their hero right now. I mean, name another South Korean player that's as good as Son right now. There isn't. And the goals he scored, the dribbling that he performs week in, week out, getting past some of the best defenders, his assists, his running is just unbelievable. He's just so fit, isn't he? He's just an engine. And he's, I think, one of the most important players at Tottenham. He may not be 100% starter every single week because they've got a lot of creative players, but when he plays, they're a better team. And that, for me, says enough, really. Then on the right, I mean, it's the easiest decision other than De Bruyne, I would say. Try and fit him in there. We're going to go with Salah, top scorer. Second best player of the season for me, behind De Bruyne. Although it's going to be close towards the end of the season. I think there's obviously still a little bit of time for both of these players to prove themselves to be the best. I think De Bruyne has been a little bit quieter recently compared to Salah, who's suddenly scoring a lot more, which I didn't think was possible. I think without Salah, Liverpool losing Coutinho would have been just too much. I think they would have fallen apart. But because Salah's playing so well, it hasn't affected them, has it? Coutinho going really hasn't done much to them. It feels like he's better than Coutinho, which is crazy. I think he is. I think he is better than Coutinho. I think Salah is, for me, the surprise star of the season in world football this year. Just unbelievable. Who would have thought for 35, 40 million that he would have come in and pretty much carried Liverpool into the top 4, top 3, which is just unbelievable. Is he going to stay? Can Liverpool keep him? That's going to be difficult. With Real Madrid sniffing around, PSG looking for a new star winger if Neymar leaves. There's just so many ifs and buts. And I think Salah, he has proven himself to be a top 10 player in the world, maybe even more. And Liverpool, bless them, they're doing much better, but they're still not winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League. Just like Arsenal, just not like Arsenal. They're much better than Arsenal, but similar to the way that we've lost our players in the past. We weren't doing enough at the time to keep them, and I don't think Liverpool are. And I think he'll go. I think he'll leave for 120, 130 million, something crazy like that. That was the bargain of the century, getting Salah so cheap. And it turns out that Roma had no choice. They wanted to sell him for more than that, but they had a deadline to make that certain threshold to then sell him for as much money as possible. So jokes on them, really. I'm going to go ahead and put both strikers up now because, well, you guys know who's coming here. Well, actually, maybe not. One of them definitely gets in, but the other one, I think some people will, especially Liverpool fans, won't be too sure about. I'm going with Kane and Aguero, but you could argue maybe Firmino goes into the team. And here's a look at the starting 11. Yes, I know I've spelt De Bruyne wrong. I couldn't be able to change it. I think Kane is a given. Shame he's been injured because I think he would be rivaling Salah at the top for the Golden Boot. Aguero, it's funny, he does it so effortlessly. He hasn't had the best season ever, but he's still up there. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, maybe Firmino does get in. Maybe Firmino should be in there with Kane. But I'm going with Aguero just because, he has been so good this season, yet not looking that good. I don't know how to explain it. It's like we've become so accustomed to Aguero being one of the best strikers in the Premier League of the season that he just goes in automatically, doesn't he? It's pretty unbelievable. So there's the last look at the team before I rub it off, because now I want to go ahead and list off a couple of players that probably should be in the team or are close to being in the team. So let's rub these out. Oh, this whiteboard does not rub off very well at all. So I'm going to list them one by one. My pen is running out here. So, first person I'm going to talk about is Valencia, right back for Manchester United. Close to being in the team. I think had Walker not been performing so well, that Valencia would have definitely been in there. At his age as well, still performing at the best. Changed position, similar to Ashley Young. Used to be a forward player, now a right back. Just incredible. So strong, so consistent. And for me, he probably should be in team of the season, but just purely because Walker is at City, they're winning the league and he's done so well, he had to go in ahead of him. Next, let's go ahead and put Firmino in, because Firmino is so unlucky this season not to, well, in my team of the year at least, he's unlucky not to be in there because of Aguero, because of Kane. In another season, he probably would have got in there. I think with Firmino though, it's not just the goal scoring. It's the bringing the other players into play. You know, Liverpool's front three. Mane, I'm going to say Mane's not in this video, by the way, because I don't think he's had his best season ever. But with him, Salah and Firmino linking up, it's deadly. It really is. And Firmino, I think, is actually better as... Oops, I've dropped my pen. As almost a supporting striker. Not necessarily a goal scorer. He gets his goals, but he gets a lot of assists. All those backflips, back heels, and, you know, flicks around the back of the defence. It's just so good. Next, we're going to go with the Belgian beast himself. We're going to go with Hazard. Not his best season either, but probably should still be in there because he has been one of Chelsea's best performers this season. Still young, still got time to grow. Is he going to go to Manchester United? No. Is he going to go to Real Madrid next season? I mean, if they don't get someone like Salah, they'll go for someone else. Hazard would be, I'm sure, right up there. And Hazard has said himself many times that his idol is Zinedine Zidane. Is he saying that for one reason and one reason only? Is he saying that to say, come on, come get me? I doubt it. Next, we're going to go with... I wasn't sure about this because I think his discipline's an issue. But I'm going to go ahead and throw him in there. Fernandinho, he really is the rock of that City midfield. Without him, I don't think it would work as well. I think... what's his name? Gundogan comes in and does a good job, but in terms of a holding midfielder, I don't think there's anyone better than him. Maybe Kante, maybe Matic on his day. Fernandinho is just unreal. Him and Kante, can you imagine them in midfield? There would be no goals. They would not score past them. It's as simple as that. And Fernandinho doesn't do it beautifully. He's not the most graceful player, and I do think he needs to work on his aggression. He does get a lot of cards, a lot of suspensions, but he's just so consistently good. Really, really good player, and he would be in this team if it was a different formation, I would say. Up next, we have another Tottenham player, and we've already had Son and Kane. The other player would be Eriksen for me. Not quite enough to get in the team, but has had a very good season. You could say this was his proper breakout season, I would say. He's been very good over the years, but this year he's been very, very good. I think... it's difficult to find his best position because I think Tottenham rotate a lot and they've got Dele Alli at cam most of the time. You know, and I think Eriksen does get pushed out wide a little bit, but it doesn't seem to affect him. He still gets involved, and for me, is one of Tottenham's best player, if not their best player behind Kane. Maybe just. Up next, we have... I can't believe I'm putting an Arsenal player in this. I know I'm going to get hate for it, but I think... this player has been very, very good in a very bad team, and that is Monreal. Our most consistent player this season, despite picking up injuries. He's been scoring goals. He's been playing out of position, playing in 3 different positions: left wing back, left wing, centre back. I think he's pretty much been throwing himself up front in some games when we've needed a goal. And I love the guy, so I'm putting him in my team this season because I love him, and you have to have one Arsenal player. Next, I'm going to go with this guy here, because without him mentioned, I know people would be... I mean, the comments would be, how can you not have this guy? That is going to be Kante. Again, not his best season ever, but still a very good season. He's not going to be winning Player of the Season again. And of course, he's not going to be winning the title for a 3rd season in a row, but he probably will make it into Team of the Season. In terms of the FIFA Team of the Season, I think he probably will make it because that card will be disgusting and it gets people spending money. But Kante, I don't need to talk about too much. He gets in there. Last but not least, we're going to go with, for me, the most exciting player for England this summer. That is going to be Sterling. I love Sterling because of his running style. It's so cool to watch him bombing it down those wings with his hands like a T-Rex. Is he the most exciting English player right now? I think he might just be. This, for me, has been the season that we've seen Sterling at his best. At Liverpool, when he was playing up front, along with Suarez and whoever, he looked good, right? But he wasn't this good. He's been getting goals, assists. He's got well over 20 goals this season, I believe. And Pep has just changed this man. He's a new player. He's confident. He's, personally for me, more clinical. He's got that finishing touch now that he didn't have. He can run. He can pass. He's just brilliant. And I'm so happy that we've got someone like Sterling in the England lineup for the World Cup. So that's another 8 players that didn't quite make it, but maybe should have. And there's probably more that I haven't mentioned, so I'm sure I'm going to get quite a few comments. But that is going to be my Premier League team of the season. it's quite a difficult one. It's been a season of a lot of good players, but for now, I think I'm happy with that. I might change it a little bit come the end of the season, but I doubt it. It's too late now, and most of these players have been performing well all season. So thank you for watching this video. The next one I'm going to do flops of the season, or worst team of the season. There's going to be a few Arsenal players in that one I can expect, or you can expect. So yeah, that's going to be that. Make sure you click that notification bell, by the way, guys. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. YouTube is pretty awful at the moment at sending videos to sub boxes, so if you're missing videos, always check out my channel. I mean, I do upload most days, so if it's not in your sub box, then it's because it's not working. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.